My name is Colleen Harrison, and I was a former IRS revenue agent for 17 years. I wanted to tell a few true stories about my experiences as a revenue agent, particularly those when I was new to the field, still in training, and somewhat, a little bit intimidated, believe it or not, by the taxpayer and their representative. Now, you would think that the IRS agent would not be intimidated, but a new agent is definitely scared to death. And I know that seems hard to believe, but it's true. At least I was, and I know a lot of other people also. And if you're a female and you have to go to someone's home, that is also quite an experience. It's a bit intimidating. You really don't know what to expect. So it's often in the beginning an adventure and a bit stressful. I don't know how the males feel because I'm not a male. I only know from experience what it's like to be a female revenue agent out in the field doing an audit in someone's home. And some of the audits had to be conducted in the person's home because the person worked out of their home, had a home office, and to review and audit their books and records and interview them often required that a person, the revenue agent, go to the home of the individual. Now, that's always a little chancy. Even though you're a revenue agent, you would hope that the person would be very respectful, would definitely be afraid of the IRS, if nothing else, but some aren't. I mean, some people are very casual about the IRS, and they also do a little checking to determine if you are new to the IRS in training. And how they find out, I'm not really sure, but some of them knew a lot before that person arrived, before that revenue agent arrived at that door to do the audit. Now, one of the experiences that I had, and I look back and I find it funny and amusing because I love animals. I get along with animals very well. I've had Rottweilers, I've had little dogs, I've had big dogs, I've had defense-type dogs, I've had lap-type dogs. I just love animals. I'm not afraid of animals. I've never been attacked by an animal. And it seems to me that most animals really like me. So in this particular experience, I had been having a lot of trouble with this one audit because the representative was extremely protective of his client. He really didn't want me there. He didn't want me looking at the books and records, and he tried to make it as unpleasant as humanly possible. The audit began with him giving me the wrong directions and the wrong address to where his office was. So, of course, the first couple of times that I went, I couldn't find him, and I wasted a lot of time. Finally, after confronting him a few times, he told me what the correct address was. Well, thank goodness. So I go there, finally get to the right address. I'm greeted by him. The taxpayer's not there because he is the representative of the taxpayer. However, there's this very large German Shepherd dog in the office. Here we go again with the phones. I'm very popular. But anyway, there's this huge German Shepherd. And the dog looks fine. I mean, I'm not intimidated by animals. I love them. So I looked at the dog, and the dog looked at me. And I had no fear. So the man, the representative, who was a CPA, said to me, I hope you don't mind the dog being around. And I thought, oh, how cute, you know. I mean, most people would be terrified of this huge dog. And why would the dog have to be there on the audit? Well, anyway, I braced myself, you know, and I had my little lunch all packed, and I had all my materials that I needed to do the audit. And this person, who was a CPA and the representative for the taxpayer, stuck me in this room with no windows, filled from the floor to the ceiling with boxes, obviously containing taxpayer information, at this desk. And it was dark in there. Of course, finally we found the lights, and I was able to plug in my computer and set up. But lo and behold, what do I see next to me but this big German Shepherd? And I thought, well, you know, I don't know. I was kind of back then a bit soft and naive and not tough. You know, you have to be sometimes tough. I wasn't tough. I got tough later on. But anyway, this dog is sitting there next to me. And it was watching me, and I'm thinking, well, I'm gonna ignore the dog. But then I got a little intimidated because the dog looked at my food, my lunch, which was in a bag. And I didn't, you know, I didn't know what to do. But the whole time that I was in there doing the examination of the books and records, I had this great big, and I have to say beautiful, German Shepherd dog watching me and staring at my food. So, of course, I offered him some of my food, like, well, which is, I guess it's okay. So the next time I went, the dog liked me. There was never a problem. And I guess the representative, the CPA, was kind of surprised that I didn't leave real fast, because I think that's what he was hoping for. I think he was hoping for me to run out of that place as fast as possible and just forget the audit. But I was not that way. I mean, first of all, I'm not intimidated by animals. He could have had a lion, and I don't think that I would have run, because I absolutely adore animals and get along great with them. But I just think it's funny that the person representing the taxpayer would think of something like that, to, you know, to put a huge dog in the same room with me, knowing that I was obviously a little bit shy. If I hadn't been shy, I would have said, hey, I don't want that dog near me. You take that dog out of here. Well, that's what I probably could have done or should have done. But like I said, I was actually a nice person. And I didn't know how to handle a situation like that. I didn't know what I should do. That I didn't learn anything about that kind of situation in training as a revenue agent. All I learned about was taxes and procedures. No one gave me a clue as to what I could confront. So anyway, I survived. But I have to admit, it was quite an experience. Plus, I found a lot of adjustments on this audit, which I wouldn't have found had I run. So I think that part of the problem was that they didn't want me to know. But I found out anyway, in spite of that big German Shepherd. Okay, that's just one of many stories that I have. And I just want to let you know that I appreciate you listening, because I need to get these things off my chest. Anyway, tune in for the next real story. And these are not made up. These actually happened to me. Thanks.